This is Shadow Lane, in the shadow of Lambeau Field. During the week, it's pretty quiet. But on Packers game day, it's a different story. Over the years, this neighborhood's changes have not gone unnoticed as it has transformed into the place to tailgate. Some of these 1960s single-family ranch homes look the same as they have for decades, while others have been torn down and replaced with much bigger visions. One of those much bigger homes that you can't help but notice is this one. It was built just months ago. The owners, Bob and Pat Endries, say that this house started as a dream, then became a reality that will now be passed down for generations in their family.
Well, last Thanksgiving, 2016, we were together as a family, and I said, you know, something we might leave behind is we should have a Packer house, a home over by Lambeau Field. And our daughter went to the internet immediately. She looked on the internet and she said, Dad, there's one for sale. And then we tore it down in April of 2017 and started building this. So it took us about 5 months to build it. And so it is what you see today.
We asked the city if these larger homes require special permits or approval to build. The zoning here is the same as it's always been, low-density residential. But if a house is rented out, there are laws and ordinances that have to be followed.
They don't actually change the zoning, but they do have to obtain a permit through the city for a short-term rental if that's what they're actually doing. Otherwise, they're just treated as single-family homes.
The bar is original. The walls are original.
Eric Pigo co-owns this tailgate house with 4 of his friends, and they decided not to rent it out. And when it came to style, they decided to keep that vintage feeling alive.
We wanted it to be a little bit different. The house had a very 70s feel to it, 60s, 70s feel to it. So we really wanted to embrace that.
They also didn't want to build another story onto the house.
I love the camaraderie with a lot of the neighbors that I've talked to. They've all been great people. And it's about having a good time. That's what it all comes down to, is having a good time. And we really wanted to keep the house pretty much the same. I think a lot of the neighbors across the street appreciate it as well because they're still giving the views of Lambeau as well. That was one big thing that was on their mind when we took the house over.
The Endries family is aware that their house may block some of the view, which is why they invite those neighbors over to tailgate. Bob believes that with backyard views of Lambeau Field, Shadow Lane will continue to evolve.
It was probably was going to happen at some time that people would build very nice homes facing Lombardy on Lambeau Field. And I think you're going to see more of them.
Neighbors who didn't want to go on camera have mixed feelings about what's happening. But Pete Harsh, whose uncle moved here in the 1990s, says he doesn't mind.
I don't see a problem with it. You know what? The way I see it, and I'm sure I can speak for my uncle too, is that as long as everyone's Packers fans and everyone behaves, go Pack Go.
That Go Pack Go attitude has brought even more change to the neighborhood. With the Titletown district just around the corner, these tailgate houses will likely continue to be a part of life around Lambeau.
I think you're going to see more big homes here because there's only one Lambeau Field, and this view will never go away.
And while the Endries home is no doubt a Packer fan's dream home, Bob tells me it's not just a party palace.
We have family and friends over, usually on a game day, but we also had the idea of use it for not-for-profits to help people in need to raise money for their charity, like Rawhide or Green Bay Diocese or Children's Museum.
The Endries home is their private home. They don't rent it out for a profit. A check of the county tax record shows of the 21 properties that back up to Lombardy Avenue, almost half of them are owned by some type of organization like an LLC or a trust. That may be concerning for someone like Pete Harsh, who doesn't want the whole neighborhood to lose its roots as things change.
I'm hoping that they won't all look like mansions. This is pretty much the last family house here. It's obvious just by driving down the street.
But as Shadow Lane Ranch homes go up for sale, one thing is certain.
We have definitely one of the best backyards in America. I don't know of any other place in the world that in the backyard you have an NFL stadium across the street from you. It's a pretty cool thing.